Okay. Um, so I haven't really had a bad experience on public transport. Just kind of weird ones. Like, so when I was like 6 or 7, someone tried to kill me by pushing me in front of a bus, but I wasn't necessarily on the bus, so I don't think that really counts. But so I'll tell one of my train ones. So I actually really like trains. I hated buses for the longest time because of that story, but I actually really like trains. But that doesn't mean I like people, right? I hate people. So this is while I was still living in New South Wales. So on one of the trains, uh, oh, I forget where I was going. I think I was going forward. So I think it was coming back from the city, going back to the Central Coast. And you're always hopeful, well, I am, getting onto a train that, you know, you're not going to want to sit next to someone. I hate sitting next to people because I hate people. But so I get on the train and it's fucking packed. Chock a block. Every single seat's taken. I can't even sit next to someone. Like, I'm just going to have to stand up and that's going to suck because I'm probably going to be on the train for an hour. But I go down the stairs because the trains are, they got an upstairs and a downstairs on the Sydney trains. So I go downstairs, I look around, every single seat's taken, except the absolute glory seat, my favourite, the one right at the back of the carriage. So no one can look behind me and look at the back of my head, see what I'm doing. I just get to chill out and sit there all by myself. It's completely free. There's no one in the 3-seater whatsoever. Beautiful. So I go and take my seat. Train doors are just about to close. And every time I tell this story, it gets even more dramatic. But it's like the carriage starts shaking. Just violently shaking. Everyone kind of looks around going, what the hell's going on? Is this like, you know, some kind of earthquake? Is this, you know, is the train going off the rails? What is going on? And then this man shuffles his way down the stairs. Must weigh at least 250 kilos. He is the most massive man I have ever seen. Just insanely overweight. And then, of course, I'm the only one who has a seat open next to them. So this guy sits next to me. And so everywhere else there's 2 seats, right? And it's, you know, divided by an armrest. So I've got this 3-seat. And there's no armrest. There's just this guy. And I am squished up against the side of the fucking train. Because this guy is so fucking massive. Just enormous. But so, he shuffles in there and he sets his suitcase down under the seat. He kind of has a little shuffle around, looks at me, and goes back to look straight at in front of the train. Just kind of sit there enduring, hoping that this guy eventually gets off the train before I do, so I can go back to being in comfort. But anyway, so he pulls out a smartphone. I think it was probably an iPhone. So he's got earpods in. And, like, the music that was coming out was, like, it was loud enough that I could hear it, so that was very fucking annoying as well. But anyway, so he's browsing some shit on his fucking smartphone. And he gets to Facebook. And, he's just browsing along. And then he turns to me. And he's like, "Hey! Mate! Do you know what this says?" And so I kind of look at what he's got there. And he's pointing to literally just the word tomorrow, spelt correctly. So I say, that says tomorrow. "Oh, thanks, mate." And then he goes back to doing his own thing. And so eventually he's finished with that. And so he gets his suitcase out. And so it's a bit of a fucking process, honestly, to get this suitcase out. Because he's going under his fucking massive fucking legs and his massive stomach. There's barely enough room to get it out. But eventually he shuffles it out from under his feet. And he opens it up. And so it's a regular sized suitcase, right? And so, not suitcase, you know, like a briefcase. You know, the ones that you would take to work. And so you're expecting, you know, these documents or, you know, some sort of files to be inside this suitcase. Maybe, I don't know, a change of clothes. I don't know what the fuck's going to be in there. And so he opens it up. There's only one item inside this. Just one item. It is a massive burger. That's it. It's just this fucking massive fucking size burger. And then he starts chomping away on this. With these huge massive bites. And he's eating with his mouth open. Just fucking smashing away at it. It was just demolished that. But so, we've been on the train for about 10 minutes during this escapade. He finishes his burger, closes his suitcase, and then just out of nowhere, just with no warning whatsoever, just everything's just normal, nothing's happening, he just punches the wall on his side as hard as he possibly fucking can. Like, I'm sure his hand would have been at least bleeding, if not broken after that. And then after doing so, he just gets up and walks off the train at the next stop.